been speaking about it for a couple of months now, so to finally get it sorted is great. It allows us to now focus on the season ahead.
What prompted you to sign this deal, and what expectations do you have between now and the next 3 years?
First and foremost, really enjoying my time back at Hearts. You know, it's a fantastic club to be at. You know, delighted to be here, and the team's been doing really well. The board have been great, the foundation's been great, so it's a platform now to go and build forward. And the club came to me a couple of months ago to ask about renewing it, and I was absolutely delighted to do it.
Joe Savage has been making noises recently about potentially challenging the old firm. Can you see that happening within the next 3-4 years?
You know, we have to try and build ourselves over the next few years, and I think the key for us is, can we continually get into group stage European football? You know, if we can do that for 2, 3, 4 years, it allows us to build. You know, there's no doubt that the gulf is massive, but we want to try and keep cutting away at it, cutting away to try and get to an opportunity where we can actually go and mount a challenge.
Can you see that happening then within 3 years?
That's not going to put a time on it. I think it's going to be a process over a number of years, a number of seasons. But the key one for us is, can we continually get into European football? Because that's ultimately where the club make the finances to allow us to improve the squad, improve the club as a whole, and start bridging that gap.
In terms of the new campaign, Robbie, how excited are you, and what expectations do you have on your team and your players this season?
Yeah, looking forward to getting started. You know, these pre-season's been 6-7 weeks, and we're just desperate to get the first game. But you know, our objective this season is to try and win every game. Starts on Saturday against Ross County. You know, we have to win that, and then we look on to the next game after that.
Transfer-wise as well, you've been relatively busy. Lawrence, first of all, how big an investment is this for the club, and an international striker as well?
Obviously, I know Lawrence really well from my time at Dundee United, and you know, I've always kept an eye on what he's been doing over in Belgium, and the opportunity came to bring him in. I was desperate to do it, and you know, thankfully the backing of the board and Joe and Andrew McKinley, they allowed us to bring him in, because I think he'll be a real asset for us. He already scored a couple of goals in his first game in pre-season, and it's a case of us creating chances for him to score goals.
It's been a while, I think, since a Hearts striker scored 20 goals a season. Is that the sort of target you're looking at for him? Yeah,
look, we try not to get too far ahead. You know, we look at game by game, and like, we blocks a game. So for us, it's just getting Lawrence off the mark as quick as we can. You know, we've got a number of good strikers here. We've got Boyce, Henderson, Lawrence. We've got a lot of games coming up, but you know, to get Lawrence in has been great.
How happy are you with the size of your squad, given we're going to have to have all the Thursday, Sunday games going on?
I think that's going to be the key for us this season. You know, when you look at Rangers and Celtic last year, like, you know, first team squad, just solely first team players, was about 28, 29 for each team. We ran by about 20. So we have to try and get closer to that. We're not going to get that number, but we'd hope to get to maybe 23, 24 with a couple of younger ones added in. So we've still got a couple of slots to make.
Any imminent?
No, not at the moment, no. There's like, it's been a bit quiet the last kind of week or two, just things settling down a wee bit, but I think the next week or two it'll start to kick off again.
There's so much enthusiasm from the supporters for this season, the season tickets sold out. Is there a bit of pressure on to build on what you did last season?
There's always pressure. You know, there's pressure when you come in the Championship to win it. There's pressure when we came up to try and get the top six. You know, there's pressure to maintain that. There's pressure, that's part and parcel of being a big club. You know, we're expected to win every week, and we have to turn up on Saturday and make sure we do it.
I know it's been a bit quiet at the moment, but just going into the first game, are you happy with where the squad is at?
Yeah, I'm delighted, to be honest with you. You know, sometimes at this stage of the season we are chasing 2 or 3 areas, but I think we've got strength in all the positions now. It's just a case of adding a couple of players that can bring that extra bit of quality as well.
How beneficial has pre-season been? Because I don't think you've had much of a break. You've pretty much played every 3 or 4 days through July.
I think the most important thing is to play. You know, I know as a player you just want to play games, so we try to get as many as we can in over the course of the pre-season, and you know, thankfully the players have all come through it.
In terms of the injured boys, well, are you expecting any back?
Gianelli was back on pitch today, so on that we're all good.
Ross County have had quite a bit of turnover in the summer, but are you expecting a similar side style-wise from last season?
Yeah, look, obviously with the Premier Cup games you can get a look at them, and it's a similar style to what we've played in the last couple of years with Malky, so I expect it to be much the same, but with different personnel. Obviously we've lost the 2 wide players as well in Spittle, so a wee bit of change in there, but I expect it to be competitive. I expect it to have a threat in the wider areas, and you know, be a good team again this year.
And obviously there's quite a few teams that have made a lot of changes in the league. How do you think it will compare to last year? Do you think it's better quality this year?
I just need to wait and see. You said the same at the start of last year, you know what I mean? People make loads of signings and then sometimes they don't work out, so I think a lot of it can take teams a wee bit of time to gel at times as well. You know, one of our key ones this year was making sure we kept a hold of the key players. We managed to do that in the majority, so we've got a bit of continuity coming into the start of the season.
just going back to Lawrence, you mentioned if you can create a lot of chances for him, then obviously you'll take them. The fact that you've worked with him before, that you know what his strengths are, that you've got a commitment to kind of create those chances, that will help him.
I know him very well. We've sort of had myself, Gordon and Lee had him up at Dundee United, get a good relationship with him. We know what he needs. We know he's a penalty box striker. He won't give you a lot outside it, but you put the ball in the box and he'll score goals, and it's up to us to make sure we get him in there.
I mean, after you left United, I mean, it was maybe a different style of football you had to get used to. Maybe didn't get those chances. It's a good chance for him to kind of.
I think at United, obviously we left and we'd won the Championship. We'd come out of the top flight. It's a different story. It was probably a year of stabilisation for them. And they didn't create probably the chances that Lawrence needs. But he's managed to get a move off the back of it, get international football, and we're just grateful that he's here now. And hopefully we can help him kick on again.
And just go back to your contract. Obviously, the stability at the club, is that something that really a lot of teams maybe chopping and changing, to have that period that you can look forward to, you can plan ahead? Can that really help you get to where you want?
I think it's one of the key things in football is continuity and stability, but it's very limited, shall we say, in football. A lot of the time it's next one. So one of the reasons I came back here when I got asked was that it was the continuity of the football club and the stability of, at that time the owner, but the foundation now. So I think it's really important.